Good morning, family. Good morning. It's Wednesday, hump day. Good morning. The day after Valentine's Day. I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. If you feel like nobody loves you, you should always love yourself. And of course, God loves you. So happy V-Day belated. So today, guys, it's kind of late in the morning, but we're going to not miss our training for today. And our training today is about catching attention from the first paragraph. When you tell your story, any story, you have to catch your reader's attention early on, okay? And there are different ways to do that. You have to have kind of a big picture view of your book. But when someone picks up your book and they pick up the chapter 1 to see what your book is about, if you want them to read your book all the way through, you have to catch their attention in the first chapter. For those who aren't avid readers, they want their attention caught in that first paragraph. That's going to determine whether or not they're going to stick in there with you and read your entire story. So you have to start your story off with, and this is why I call this trainings your naked truth, because you have to be transparent. Okay? Your readers know when they're reading bullshit or candy coated ideas. Okay? Tell the naked truth and start your book off with some naked truth, and that will catch your reader's attention. It will catch the right reader's attention. Okay? When you're telling your story, people want to know the real. Okay? They want to know, exactly what happened. They want to know the details of what happened to you, the details, and don't skip a step of how it affected you, the details, and tell it all how you came out, right? And so if you're writing your story to help others, you can't leave any of that out. You have to be transparent. You have to be naked with your story. And so you need to start in chapter 1 with some of that nakedness, okay? So you have to be transparent, be naked about your story, and you have to be that way in chapter 1 of your story. Different ways that you can do it. Please just kill the once upon a time, okay? Everybody does once upon a time. Good morning. Everybody does the once upon a time. That's been out. That's been played. I read once upon a time. If somebody doesn't die in the rest of that sentence, I'm probably just gonna leave that alone, right? And that's just fiction. I'm not necessarily talking about telling your story, but you need to just capture attention from the beginning. So ways to do that is you can be entertaining. So if your book is, more on the funny side than it is on the, kind of tragedy coming up from the bottom side, then you can be entertaining no matter how bad it is. Just let me tell you. But you can start with entertainment. You can start with shock and awe. You can start with a connection. Okay, connect with the reader that you want to read your book. You can start off that way. You can talk about a funny moment on the road to you learning what you learned. You can talk about something that changed you, the huge event that changed you. You can start with that and then go back and give the background leading up to it, right? Think about some of the movies that you watch. Think about, I don't even know what movie, but think about some of the great movies that you watch. They start off with the action, right? And then they go back and tell you what led up to that action. But that action is what kept you watching the movie, right? The action is what got your attention and made you say, okay, I want to see how this plays out. You need that action, that truth in the beginning. Good morning. And so if you want to capture your reader's attention and get them to read your book, because a lot of people go and they pick up the book and they read the first chapter and they decide from there, am I gonna even buy this book? Am I gonna go anywhere with this book? Or even those that support you, right? Because a lot of people will buy your books, and I'm sorry to tell you, but they'll never read it. And that's okay. They just wanted to support. But every now and then, those who didn't intend on reading it, they might open it up and go to chapter 1 and decide, well, let me see what this one says. If you capture their attention, yes, the hook. If you capture their attention in that chapter, you got them. If you capture their attention in paragraph 1, you got them. But remember, I said you have to have a big picture view of the book. So let's go back to this book that I was in, Her Chronicles, spearheaded by Jay Stone. I knew that in this book, a lot of naked stories would be told. Okay, a lot of naked stories will be told in this book. So by the time you got to my chapter, you should already be kind of reeled in, right? And so I pretty much started off giving you background because I knew I'm chapter 6 in this book. And so let me show you that. There you go. I'm chapter 6 in this book. So you pretty much are hooked or not hooked by the time you get to chapter 6, right? So I started off with a little background, but had I had to start the book, say this was just my book, I'm writing it, I'm responsible for the whole book, I would start right at the meat of it, okay? I would start about, 3 pages into my chapter. I would have started with, when I don't listen to internal guidance, undesirable things happen. Sometimes bad things. Nothing was as bad as what happened to me in December of 1988. I was raped by my best friend's uncle when I was a senior in high school. Had I listened to my inner voice, it may never have happened. I kept quiet about it. I knew without a shadow of a doubt that if I told my mother that a man took power over me, she would have shot and killed him. Now, if I start my book off like that, would you read the rest of it? Would you be interested to know what led up to that? See, I started with just the shock of what happened, right? I didn't give you what put me in that situation. I didn't get you what led up to that. I started with the shock of what happened to me. And then I'm going to go into, what led up to it, how did I survive it? What was my life like, and all of that. So if you want to know that, you have to get that book. This is Her Chronicles, Volume 2, J. Stone. Okay, and I'm chapter 6. Let me give you an example of a book. This is fiction, but it was based on some reality. And this is a fiction book. The name of it is Casey Canyon. This is my book. So I'm responsible for the entire book, and I know I have to capture your attention from the beginning. Okay? So I'm going to start you off chapter 1. See the acknowledgments? And then you got, I don't number my chapters. I named them, but this is chapter 1. It starts off. It seemed like only moments after I pushed her out of the moving SUV that I confirmed hearing the sounds of sirens coming toward us on the freeway. No time to hash it out. No time to fix it. Evidently, she's okay because she's still screaming obscenities my way. Upon jumping out of the patrol car, the officers quickly demand I place my hands on the vehicle. Start off with action. You want to know what the hell going on? Who did they push out the car? Why did you push them out the car? The police is there already? How you going to get out of this? Paragraph 1. So you have to catch your reader's attention early on. Okay? So this tip, this training, this advice is about after you finish your outline, after you know everything you're going to write about, and how do you start your chapter 1. You start off with a bang. That's how you start it. You start off with a bang. And from that bang, then you bring them down and you explain it, right? But then you need to have some more bangs all through the book, right? So a book should flow it should have ebbs and flow, right? And should never leave your readers on a low end. You should always leave them on a high. So even though you may start them on a low, you end them on a high. Okay? So today, yes, we've talked about how do you start it off? How do you give that so that people want to read your book? Well, you start with the first paragraph. Definitely within the first chapter. You give it to them. You give them the raw. You give them the real. Be naked. Be transparent. And tell them exactly what the problem is. Just go ahead and give it to them. Right? Okay, and then you can come back and build them up and give the background and give the whatever you need to give. What happened in detail, how you survived it, and what lessons you learned, and what you're doing now to prevent it. Those are the things that need to be included in your book, but you have to start off with a bang. Okay, guys? So that's all I have for you guys today. I want you to have a great rest of your week. Now, I have a special thing to tell you because these trainings are on Monday and Wednesday, right? Well, this weekend I will be out of the country and I won't be back until Monday. And so next week only, we're going to do our trainings on Wednesday and Friday. Okay? Wednesday and Friday for next week. And so if you want to see the other trainings within this campaign, please hit the hashtag #YourNakedStory. And these trainings are about how to tell your story. We're giving you tips and we're giving you advice on how to tell your story. So today's advice was on starting off with a bang. Start off with your transparency. Start off with the height of the problem and taper down and then come back up, right? So that's what today was about. If you're not at the point where you know you want to write your story, but you have not done your outline, you don't know basically how to write a book, I have another campaign of training for you that's already complete. You can go and check those video trainings out, and that is #BeforeYouWrite. So you can go to those trainings, and then you can see these trainings, which we have 4 of so far. And just absorb it. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you get your story out. That's what we're doing in 2017. We're writing now. We're writing. And so get ready. I'm here to help you. Inbox me. Put questions in the comments. All of that. I am here for you. My inbox has hours. And so just check that out. I'm going to answer you. But if the answer is slow, it's probably because you're outside of hours. But that's okay. I will answer you. Definitely. So for you guys who don't know who I am, how could you not know who I am by now, right? But I am Shay Cannon of Shay Cannon Publishing, and I help go-getter experts to write and publish their first book. And how I do that is I support and I coach you through the writing process, which is what all of these trainings are about. And I also offer Amazon bestseller self-publication services. So I do editing, I do formatting, I do the upload for you so that you can click the button and you're on Amazon and now you're a published author. That's what I do. So I want you guys to join me next Wednesday, okay, for the next training. And let me tell you what the next training is. It is Show, Don't Tell. Show, Don't Tell. Okay, so next Wednesday, we're going to talk about how you need to do more describing, more helping someone to picture it than you do telling every detail. Okay, so one is boring, one is way more exciting. Okay, don't you love a book that helps you to conjure a picture in your head, and so therefore you've kind of already played your little movie? We're going to talk about that next week. So you guys have a great Wednesday, a great hump day, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. And I want you guys to keep learning and keep living, because life is content. Have an awesome day.